Alright, so Tony Iommi has responded to Ozzy Osbourne's call for one final Black Sabbath show with the original members, including Bill Ward, and his response was given on a recent appearance on Eddie Trunk's Sirius XM podcast, Trunk Nation with Eddie Trunk. And the interview gets into a lot of issues surrounding the idea of a final get-together, and at one point, Tony Iommi directly responds to the suggestion that they should play one more gig together, even if that final gig was in front of a small audience in a club, and even if there wasn't an associated tour or an album. And here is what he said. Let's listen to him right here.
Oh dear. As I said, we keep coming and going. It's a funny old thing, really. Oh my God, we'll be 90 by the time we do that.
But I think he meant really, and I think he meant because of course he's got his own problems, and wish him well as far as the health. But obviously his touring days are over. I feel like where he was coming from was kind of like, because the last shows were without Bill, and he'd said he was, wish that Bill could have been there. That he just felt like even if you guys set up in a club in Birmingham with Bill and Geese and of course him, to do one, even if it was a short set, to just say the last Sabbath performance was the original four. Is there any desire for you with that, or do you feel like where you left it is fine?
It'd be a nice idea, but you're going to get everybody going, oh, they're doing it for the money, they're doing it for this, they're doing it for that, well, it wouldn't be. I mean, it'd be something that'd be a nice thing to actually do, but whether it happens will be another thing, but we'll see. I mean, who knows?
Okay, so you have to listen to Eddie Trunk talk a lot, as usual, when he gives an interview, but he did get Tony Iommi to affirm that he would be interested in playing one last gig with the original Black Sabbath, if it's possible to do. He goes on to say that he loves to play live, he's been playing, and that his involvement in the Black Sabbath ballet, as well as a few one-off gigs with the Hollywood Vampires, have kept him fresh as far as guitar playing goes. He said he's recovering from his lymphoma bout that he had in 2012 quite well, but he doesn't know if he is, in the best of health, and he's continuing to see doctors due to having intermittent shortness of breath. He also mentions that he doesn't really remember why Bill wasn't invited to the reunion show, and that he thinks it's a good idea that Ozzy wants everyone to get together one last time, even if they don't really have the energy to play a tour or do an album. So basically, you get a lot of information out of Tony Iommi in that interview, and what I would take away from this is that we now have two of the four members, more or less firm on the idea of doing that final farewell show. And if you go check out the video I did recently on what Ozzy said about the farewell show, you'll see that Ozzy's very passionate about the idea of finishing out Black Sabbath with Bill Ward. I share his enthusiasm for that idea. I think Tony Iommi basically is committed to it in the Eddie Trunk interview. I don't see any reason why Geese wouldn't want to do it. And now it's just gonna come down to whether or not the four of them can get on the same page as far as management and legality. And in my Ozzy Osbourne video, the one I dropped recently, a lot of the comments were talking about how it's Sharon Osbourne probably who could be holding up the works. Now, if anyone has any further information on that, please share it in the comments below, because it'd be interesting to know exactly what the roadblocks are in terms of getting all the right names on the right paper with the right ink. Anyway, I hope it happens. This is what I think, but what really matters is what you think. So if you have a thought about this or any other topic connected to classic or contemporary music, please drop it in the section below, and remember to like and subscribe. Also, there's a new join button you can click if you'd like to get access to members only polls, members only videos, and other cool perks that you'll see by clicking on the button. Finally, if you'd like to support the site yet another way, you can use the Buy Me a Coffee link to go over to the Buy Me a Coffee site and drop a donation. It will really help this site continue to grow.